Welcome back to my channel, Latin Language, and we're going to discuss business combination, part 1 introduction. So let's have a definition first. Being business combination. So characterized siya by the merger of two or more entities or the acquisition of one firm by another. So parang combination siya ng two companies or two firms or entities. Following this process, a single entity establishes authority over the other. So, pag may si A, bibilin niya si B, syempre si A na yung parang may mas powerful doon or magiging parent company. Pwede rin naman si A at si bibilin niya na si B mismo, sabihin wala na talaga si B, aalis na si B. Mm. Acquire parent company while the entity brought under its control is designated as the acquiree. So yung mismong makapangyarihan o yung mismong bumili, that's the acquirer. Yung binili or yung mas nawala yung shares, acquire yun. Okay? Malalaman pa natin yung mga ibig sabihin niyan sa latter part ng lesson natin. Next. Okay, business combination acquisition. An asset acquisition occurs when a buyer takes over a target's asset and liabilities, leading to the target's dissolution. So under Philippine law daw, this is categorized as either a merger. Pag merger, A plus B is equal to A or B. So, si company A gusto niya, ngari, magbi-business combination si A and B. It's either, ang kakalabasan niyan, A lang or si B. Isa sa kanila mawawala na talaga. Pwede naman consolidation where a brand new entity is formed. Ngari, si A plus B, hindi na siya A or B lang. Dapat panibago na talaga siya. Kunyari sa A plus B, ngari, Jollibee plus McDo. Pag nag-business combination sila, it's either Jollibee pa rin siya or McDo pa rin siya. Okay? Pag consolidation naman, Jollibee plus McDo pwedeng McB. Magiging McB na. Mag-iiba na ng pangalan. So, hindi siya McDonald's, hindi na siya Jollibee. Okay? In a stock acquisition naman, an acquirer gains control by purchasing a majority of the target's voting shares. So, 50%, more than 50% daw yung ina-allow ng mga companies to remain separate legal entities. Yeah, while they maintain individual accounting records, they are treated as a single reporting entity for consolidated financial statements. Kung napapansin nyo sa Intact 3 nyo, Intermediate Accounting 3, dito lumalabas si investment in subsidiary. Mm. Dati parang ano ba to? Basta hindi natin masyadong pinapansin. Alam natin tong invest in subsidiary. Ay, ano to? Weird tong weird tong title na to. Oo. So ngayon, alam na natin yung investment in subsidiary, dito yung sa business combination. Okay? So kung sino yung mas malaking share, sa more than 50% share siya, acquirer yun. Okay? Remember, alam niyo na ibig sabihin ng acquirer, pati ng acquiree. At may mga other names kasi din ang business combination. Meron tayong horizontal combination, a business combination of two or more entities with a similar business. Ang example nito, yung bangko nag-acquire ng isa pang bangko. Ayan, nalala ko dati yung nung bata ako, sino ba to? Alam ko to eh, BDO. BDO, hindi ko sure to kasi alam ko ito yun eh. Meron ding dati kasing bangko na pangalan Equitable. Equitable Bank. Ang kulay niyan yung kulay orange yun eh. Kaya napapansin nyo, yung Banco de Oro, binili niya yung Equitable, kaya naging BDO. Yung O na orange na yun, yung O na orange, dun galing yun sa Equitable. Oo. So, isang sample siya ng horizontal combination ng business combination. Vertical combination naman, a business combination of two or more entities operating at the different levels in a market chain. So, manufacturer acquires its supplier of raw materials. Naalala ko to. Tinuro to ng prof ko, ni Sir Bill, sa economics. Yung, kunyari, ang tawag dito, yung coffee shop. Okay, coffee shop siya. So, bumibili siya dati sa mga supplier niya. Gagawin niya, bibili niya na lang yung supplier. Oo, 'di ba? Or parang gano'n. Or pwede rin yung supplier, bibili niya lang yung coffee shop, 'di ba? Sila na rin magpo-produce ng coffee nila. Hmm, okay. Conglomerate naman, a business combination of two or more entities with dissimilar business. For example, a real estate developer acquires a bank. Or yung Jollibee, bumili siya ng vulcanizing business thing, 'di ba? Wala, talagang hindi siya connected, yung fast food pati vulcanizing, di ba? Okay. So, meron tayong horizontal. Pag parehas lang, vertical kapag supplier tapos, ayan, coffee shop supplier, conglomerate yung kiba talaga. Mm. At may mga advantages and disadvantages naman din tong business combination. Advantages natin, competition is eliminated or lessened. Siyempre, kung yan, si Jollibee, bibili niya si McDo, edi less competition, di ba? More profit kay Jollibee. Sa akin na itong profit. Katulad ng, ito, ginawa ni Jollibee. Dati alam ko, ang Chowking, pati Red Ribbon, tapos Greenwich, hindi siya part ng Jollibee. Oo. Ngayon, binibili na ng Jollibee ngayon para mabawasan yung competition. Tapos yung ano din, yung Mang Inasal. Mang Inasal, hindi talaga siya under ng Jollibee. Binili lang siya ng Jollibee. Hmm. So, synergy, syempre, combination, increase business opportunities and earnings potential. Oo naman, syempre, kung ikaw si Jollibee, mas malaki na kita mo. Sa yung kita ni Mang Inasal, sa yung kita ni Greenwich, diba? Reduction of operating costs. So, reduction of operating costs, um, kasi, ang tawag dito, ang tawag doon, hmm, pag bibilin mo yung supplier, hindi ka na mahihirapan pa na, ang tawag dito, kasi di ba may tubo din yung mga supplier, di ba? Kung tutubo din siya. Pag ikaw na bumili, hindi mo natutubuan. No? Ikaw na yung may-ari din ng supplier. Eh. Combination utilize sa economies of scale. Okay, nalala ko sa economics. So the more na marami kang ma-produce, bababa yung ano mo, yung fixed costs mo overall. Cost savings on business expansion, favorable tax implications. So, ito yung sa taxation nyo. Disadvantages naman, may bring monopoly. Kunyari, si Jollibee, binili niya lahat ng mga kalaban niyang fast food. Eh di nagkaroon ng monopoly sa fast food. Oo, yung gagawin ni Jollibee, taasan ng presyo. Kasi ako lang yung, ang tawag dito, nag-iisang fast food chain dito sa Pilipinas. Loss of sense of identity. Mm, okay, next is incompatible internal culture, systems and policies. May pag bumili ka ng, kaya si Jollibee tapos si Vulcanizing. Ang layo nila, syempre, iba yung culture naman ng fast food chain sa Vulcanizing, di ba? Overcapitalization, ah dito pumapasok si watered stocks. Watered stocks, sabihin, ang dami kang ini-issue na share na bumababa yung value niya. At dahil bumababa yung value ng share, yung mga investor, hindi na siya attracted pa dun sa business. Kung pa ako mag-i-invest, hindi naman masyadong valuable yung stocks na ino-offer mo. Okay. And maybe subjected to stricter regulation. Kung napapansin ng gobyerno na, masyado ka ng na threaten na masyado yung mga ibang competitors sa'yo, baka sabihin ng government, ay, ano natin to gawin natin stricto, magpapasa sila ng law. Edi dihado ka. Okay, essential elements tayo sa business combination. Check ko nga nag-ano. Yes, nag-ano siya. Essential elements in business combination. Control. So control daw is established when an acquirer gains the authority to manage a target's financial and operational strategies to influence investment outcomes. Okay, importante to. Kasi there are two elements sa business combination, control and business. So control muna tayo. While typically achieved by owning over 50% of voting shares, pag, ayan, pag meron ka ng over 50%, may control ka na dun sa business. Aside from owning more than 50% ng voting shares, yung control can also be secured through legal agreements. Ading board appointment, powers, kung sino yung nakakapag-appoint ng mga board members, siya yung may control. Or contractual rights without any upfront payment. Mm. Okay. However, control can be obtained in some other ways, such as when the acquirer has the power to appoint or remove the majority of the board of directors of the acquiring. Kanina, sinabi ko, may control ka kapag more than 50% na yung voting rights mo. But aside from that, marami pang ways para malaman na may control ka dun sa business na yun. The acquirer has the power to appoint. So kung meron kang power para mag-appoint ng majority of the board of directors, meron kang control dun sa business na yun. Another one, the acquirer has the power to cast the majority of votes at board meetings or equivalent bodies within the acquiring. Parang same lang sa letter A din, similar. Letter C, the acquirer has power over more than half of the voting rights of the acquirer because of an argument with other investors. Hmm. Yeah. And letter D, the acquired controls the acquires operating and financial policies because of a law or an agreement. Siyempre, powerful ka na din dun, diba? Hmm. Now, let's determine kung nagets niyo yung control. So, we have examples here. ABC Co. Company acquires 51% ownership interest in XYZ in Inc.'s ordinary shares. And remember, more than 50%, then you have already control. Yes, ABC is presumed to have obtained control over XYZ because of the ownership interest acquired in the voting rights typo of XYZ is more than 50%. Paano naman kung ABC ko company acquires 100% of XYZ Incorporated's preference shares? Take note, preference shares yan hindi pa rin. Wala siyang control. Kasi preference shares do not grant voting power over the entity's financial and operational strategies. If you remember your intermediate accounting 2, tinuro sa akin ng prof ko to si Ma'am Emma. Sabi niya, eto, voting, well, ang tawag dito, sila nga yung unang makaka-receive ng dividends. However, wala silang voting power. Yes, naalala ko yan. Nakikinig ako dun eh. Next. ABC Go acquires 40% ownership interest in XYZ Incorporated. There's an agreement with the shareholders of XYZ that ABC will control the appointment of the majority of the board of directors of XYZ. ABC controls pa rin because its power to appoint the majority of the board overrides its minority 40% ownership interest. Ito ang nakalagay dito no? Balik tayo. And has the power to cast the majority of votes at board meetings. Okay, going back, another one, ABC Corporation or company acquires 45% ownership interest in XYZ Incorporated. ABC has an agreement with EFG company which owns 10% of XYZ. So, in-acquire niya yung 45% ni XYZ, di ba dapat 50%? More than 50%. What? ABC has an agreement with EFG which owns 10% of XYZ. So okay, si ABC may agreement kay EFG. Si EFG may 10% kay XYZ, di ba? Whereby EFG will always vote in the same way as ABC. Yeah, magiging 55% now, 45 plus 10, consisting of its own 45% stake plus an additional 10%. And it's by agreement with EFG. Now, dun tayo sa pangalawang element ng business combination, which is business. Under PFRS 3, a business is defined as a coordinated group of assets and activities designed to be managed for generating returns. Itong mga returns na to may include providing goods or services to clients, producing investments producing investment income like interest or dividends or creating other revenue through standard operations. So may ibig sabihin pala ang business. Okay? At ito yung mga essential elements ng business. Okay? I-input tayo. Ito yung mga resources natin or intellectual property. So mga pera, ano pa ba? Raw materials, empleyado, intellectual property, trademark, copyright, mga ganun, mga intangible assets, PPE, inventory, yun yung mga inputs. Ngayon, yung mga processes, strategic or operational protocols that transform inputs into results. So, di ba? Meron tayong mga raw materials, lalagay natin siya sa work in process. May mga process tayo para gawin yung raw materials na yun para maging finished goods siya. So, ito yung processes. Output, the final product. Ito nga yung finished goods, service or income generated by combining inputs and processes. For example, meron kang ano ba maganda? Hmm, may fabric na raw material, tapos gagawin mo siyang damit. So, ipaprocess mo siya, may mga empleyado na nagagawa doon, at yung output yung damit na mismo. Hmm. Next, how to identify a business combination. Under PFRS 3, a transaction is only a business combination if the acquired set of assets and liabilities qualifies as a business. So, if it fails the definition, it is treated as a standard asset purchase. Kapag yung in-acquire mo, set ba, qualifies as a business. Pag hindi business yung in-acquire mo, kumuha ka lang ng, ang tawag dito, asset purchase. Katulad ng yung company, bumili ng warehouse. It's not a business, it's just a warehouse, di ba? You're just acquiring an asset. You're just purchasing an asset, di ba? It's not a business. Accounting for business combination. Business combinations are accounted for using the acquisition method. This method requires the following. Ito, we really need to focus on this one. Kasi sa formula natin, was mga problem solving. iikot lahat to dito. Mapapansin nyo sa mga libro, palagi sasabihin sa ng mga sa libro or ng mga prof nyo, identify nyo muna kung sino yung acquirer. Maririnig nyo palagi yan. So, ito yung letter A. Identify sino yung acquirer, which is sinabi ko na kanina, yung kanina lang, kung ano ba yung acquirer at acquiree. Okay. Letter B, determining the acquisition date. Yan. I-explain ko naman sa inyo one by one yan eh. Recognizing and measuring goodwill. This requires recognizing and measuring the following. Like consideration transferred, non-controlling interest in the acquiree, previously held equity interest in the acquiree, and identifiable assets acquired and liabilities assumed on the business combination. This will be tackled one by one naman. So, ayan, identifying the acquirer. So, the acquirer is the entity that obtains control of the acquiree. Katulad ni si Jollibee, bibili niya si Greenwich, Red Ribbon, at si Mang Inasal. So, acquirer, si Jollibee. The acquiree is the business that the acquirer obtains control of in a business combination. Acquiree, ito si Mang Inasal, si Greenwich, tapos si Red Ribbon. After mabili ni Jollibee, yun, sila. Mm. So, identifying the acquired guidelines. Paano mo malalaman? Siyempre, madali lang naman o sino yung bumili. So, may mga criteria tayo na, or may guideline tayo ng i-follow. Who is the transfer of cash or other resources or assume liabilities? Sino yung nag-transfer ng cash? Sino yung nag-assume ng liabilities? Siya yung acquirer. Who is the issuer of shares? Oh, sino yung issue ng share? Who is larger? Yeah, typically common sense. Who is the initiator of the combination? Substance over form. Let's have an illustration. Identify natin yung acquirer dito. ABC Co. and XYZ Inc. Both listed entities agreed to combine their businesses. The terms of the business combination is that ABC will offer 5 shares for every share of XYZ. Walang cash consideration. ABC's market capitalization is 900 million pesos and XYZ is 100 million pesos. Tandaan nyo, ABC 900 million, XYZ is 100 million. Nag-offer ng shares sa ABC. After the combination, the board of directors of XYZ shall comprise only directors from ABC. Okay. So yung masusunod si ABC. 3 months after the acquisition, 20% of XYZ is sold. So sino yung dito? Acquire. Dito pa lang si ABC na. Who is larger? ABC, 900 million. Diba? 100 billion lang kay XYZ. Sino namimigay ng shares? Si ABC. Diba? Ay, ABC is the issuer of shares and the initiator of the business combination. ABC is the larger. Kita naman, 900 and 100 million. ABC's former management dominates the management of the combined entity kasi nakalagay dito, after the combination, the board of directors of XYZ shall comprise only directors from ABC. Oh, by the way, I got this from the book of Milan, huh? Sir Milan to. Okay. So ABC's part of XYZ is sold after the acquisition. This provides additional indicator that ABC is the acquirer. Determining the acquisition date. The acquisition date is defined as the point when the buyer established control over the target company. Mm. Kung kailan nagsimula yung business combination. That's usually aligns with the legal closing date. Uh, However, this date can be occur sooner or later if a specific written agreement dictates a different timing for the transfer of control. Usually, kung kailan talaga nagpirmahan na. Mm. Recognizing measuring goodwill. Ito, si goodwill. Ngayon, makikilala nyo si goodwill. Dati, alam lang natin si goodwill. Intangible asset yan. Lumalabas to sa Intact 3. Okay, intangible asset. Hmm. Ngayon, makikilala natin siya. On acquisition date, the acquirer computes and recognizes goodwill or gain on a bargain of purchase. Hindi siya pareha sa opposite sila. Yung goodwill is either goodwill or gain on a bargain purchase. Using the following formula. You need to know this formula kasi sa problem solving, ito yung mostly gagamitin natin. Consideration transferred. Explain ko ito mamaya. Non-controlling interest, NCI, in the acquiree. Previously held equity interest in the acquiree, plus yan, total mo. At mag-less ka ng fair value of net identifiable assets acquired. So problem solving, ma-explain naman to. At yung kakalabasan, if it's, ang tawag dito, ang lumabas dito ay negative number, this is goodwill. Sorry, stand corrected. Pag positive yung lumabas na number, that's goodwill. Pag hindi positive or negative lumabas, gain on a bargain purchase. Another name for gain on a bargain purchase is negative goodwill. So again, pag ang lumabas na number dito ay positive, that's goodwill. At kapag negative, that is gain on a bargain purchase or negative goodwill yun. Mm-mm. Alright, next. So, isa-isayin na natin yung sinabi ko dito. Saan ba yun? Itong apat, isa-isayin natin yan ha. Consideration transferred is measured at fair value on the acquisition date. It is the total market value of all assets given, liabilities assumed, and equity shares issued by the acquirer to the previous owners. So, in layman's term, in simplest term, di binayad yung binigay mo. Okay? Kaya, bibili ka ng, si Jollibee, bibili yung Mang Inasal. Ano ba yung binigay ni Jollibee para pumayag si Mang Inasal na maging partner ng Jollibee? Ganun. So, pwedeng cash, pwedeng non-cash assets, PPE, inventory, pwedeng equity instruments, shares, options, warrants, or business or subsidiary of the acquirer at mga contingent consideration. You will talk about this one in the latter part of the lesson or mga next video ko na siya. Acquisition-related costs. So, costs that acquirer incurs to affect a business combination. Examples, finder's fee, professional fees, yung mga legal na ganyan, general administrative costs, cost of maintaining internal acquisitions department, cost of registering and issuing debt and equity securities. So this one is acquisition related cost at ito ay kailangan mo din malaman. Hmm. Ano to ni expense. I- yes, and expense siya. However, may mga exemption katulad ng mga cost of debt, securities pati equity. Minsan nilalagay siya sa share premium. Makikita niyo siya sa mga problem solving na gagawin ko. Okay. Okay, non-controlling interest. So the equity in a subsidiary not attributable directly or indirectly to a parent. So the equity in a subsidiary not attributable directly or indirectly to a parent, also called minority interest. Ito na example. ABC company acquires 80% interest in XYZ Incorporated. The controlling interest is 80%. So merong mga 20% na hindi siya part, hindi mo binili, hindi kasama siya na binili mo. Yung 20% na yun, that is called the non-controlling interest. Remember, ito ay kasama sa formula natin. If ABC ko acquires 100% interest in XYZ, syempre, the non-controlling interest is zero na. Kasi, una, ulitin ko, kung si ABC, bibili niya yung XYZ ng 80%, yung 20% na natitira, that will be non-controlling. Kasi hindi mo naman siya binili, di ba? Hindi naman siya kasama dun sa business combination. Siyempre, kung binili mo yung 100%, hindi wala nang non-controlling interest. Kasi nga, kaya ka non-controlling, hindi mo makokontrol. Hmm. Another one na kasama sa formula natin, previously held equity interest in the acquiree. So prior ownership in the acquiree refers to any shareholding the buying company possessed before the official merger or acquisition. So this factor is relevant to goodwill calculation strictly in step acquisitions. So kasama talaga sa formula to. Mas maganda sa problem solving na lang. Recognizing and measuring goodwill. So yeah, papakita ko lang sa inyo na kasama sila. Consideration transferred, non-controlling interest, previously held equity interest in the acquiree. Pag inad mo yan, total yan, less man fair value, at mag-less ka, meron kang goodwill or gain on a bargain purchase. Pag positive lumabas, goodwill, gain on a bargain purchase is negative. Ang ibig sabihin nito is, yung binayad mo, kanyari nagbayad, si Jollibee, nagbayad ng 1 million pesos. Kaso, ang fair value lang ng identifiable assets, yung nakuha niya is less than 1 million. So, sobra yung binayad niya. Parang yung halaga na binayad niya ay sobra compared sa makukuha niya. Pag ganun, yung difference is goodwill. Okay? So, problem solving na lang. Kung yung binayad niya, mas mababa yung halaga na binayad niya dun sa nakuha niya, mas mataas yung halaga ng nakuha niya, that is gain on a bargain purchase. Or this one, we call it negative goodwill. Hmm. Not at identifiable assets acquired, recognition principle. At the time of purchase, the buyer records specific assets, that's in non-controlling interest, independently from goodwill. Yung mga assets that cannot be specifically identified are excluded from recognition. Ano ba yung mga ine-exclude natin? Uh, Kailangan kasi natin malaman yun. Ito yun, no? Yung fair value of net identifiable assets acquired. Kasama sa formula yan. Goodwill, ine-exclude natin siya para malaman yung net identifiable assets acquired. Or in simplest term, ang technique dito is fair value ng total assets minus mo siya sa liabilities. Fair value ng liabilities. Tapos, tatanggalin mo yung goodwill. Okay? Another one, potential cost contracts that the acquiree is negotiating with prospective new customers at acquisition date. Assembled workforce. So to qualify for recognition, identifiable assets acquired and liabilities assumed must meet the definition of assets and liabilities provided under the conceptual. Oo, syempre, dapat alam mo na kung asset ba to o liabilities. Na to sa CFAS nyo, sa basic accounting. The identifiable assets acquired and liabilities assumed must be part of what the acquirer and the acquirer exchange in the business combination transaction, rather than the result of separate transactions. Applying the recognition principle may result in the acquirer recognizing assets liabilities that the acquirer had not previously recognized in his financial statements. Okay, last part na tayo. Measurement principle. Identifiable assets acquired and liabilities assumed are measured at their acquisition date fair values. So makikita mo sa problem solving, pag nag-problem solving tayo, meron tayong carrying amount at meron tayong fair value. Yung fair value tayo titingin ha sa measurement ng mga identifiable assets. Pag identifiable assets sa fair value po tayo titingin. At acquisition, the buyer records all identifiable assets, liabilities, and non-controlling interests ayan nga, at fair value, kakasabi ko lang. Unidentifiable items like the seller's old goodwill, staff, or pending deals, and valuation allowances, yung mga bad debts, yung mga sa allowance for bad debts, excluded yan because their value is already reflected in the purchase price. Di nyo siya maano ngayon, ma-appreciate kasi sa problem solving, ito yung sinasabi ni Sir James. Mm. Crucially, the buyer must record all acquired assets even if they plan to scrap or change them using a value based on how the rest of the market would use them. Oh, yun na lang. And that's the end of the lesson on sa introduction ng business combination. Hmm. Yan. Next video natin, mostly problem solving na tayo. Sa early part pa lang tayo ng business combination na. Kaso at least, you have an idea kung ano ba tong business combination na to at kinakilala nyo na si Goodwill. Okay? If you have questions or in need of clarifications, please comment down. And again, this is James, your math and language instructor. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you on my next video. Business combination, part 2 na tayo. That will be problem solving na tayo. Thank you very much. Bye! Merry Christmas!